Every year, criminals push hundreds of billions of dirty euros through Europe's banks, and for decades not one single authority was actually in charge of stopping them. 27 countries, 27 sets of rules, and the criminals simply slipped through the cracks in between. So the European Union built something brand new to close those cracks, a single watchdog called AMLA. So what is it, and why does it now sit above your own national regulator? Start from zero. Money laundering is the trick of taking cash from crime, drugs, fraud, trafficking, and making it look clean and legal, so it can be spent in the open. It usually runs in 3 steps. Slip the dirty cash into the financial system, move it around through lots of accounts and companies to hide the trail, then bring it back out looking like a normal salary or business profit. Banks sit right in the middle of all 3, which is why the law leans so hard on them to spot it. Here is what makes it so hard to catch. Money now moves across the 27 countries of the European Union in seconds, but the police and regulators chasing it stop at each national border. A criminal can place the cash in one country, layer it through companies in a second, and pull it out in a third. They simply route the money through whichever country is watching the least. And until now, every country policed its own banks, with its own version of the rules and its own watchdog. Picture 27 referees on one pitch, each calling fouls differently, and none of them allowed to look at the other end of the field. A gang only has to find the single weakest link and route everything through it. That patchwork is exactly what criminals were built to exploit. So, the fix follows naturally. If the gaps live between 27 national systems, you need one body sitting above all of them. That body is AMLA, the Authority for Anti-Money Laundering and Countering the Financing of Terrorism, based in Frankfurt, and set up by a 2024 EU regulation. It opened its doors in the summer of 2025, and its job is to make sure that dirty money has nowhere left to slip through. AMLA's first job is to end the patchwork with one single rulebook. Instead of each country writing its own version, there is now one EU-wide regulation that applies the same way everywhere, binding on all the obliged entities, the banks and firms forced to run these checks. To make it concrete, it sets one cap of €10,000 on large cash payments across the whole union, and countries can only go lower, never higher. Same rules, same line, in every member state. Its second job is the one that really changes things. For the first time, an EU body can directly supervise the highest risk firms that operate across many countries, around 40 of them in the first round, reaching right over the head of the national regulator. Everyone else still answers to their own country, but AMLA sets the standard they are judged by, coordinates the national supervisors, and can step in when one of them is asleep at the wheel. Now, the part almost everyone gets wrong, so hold on to it. AMLA already exists and opened in Frankfurt in 2025, but that does not mean it is supervising your bank yet. The single rulebook only starts to apply in 2027, and AMLA does not begin directly supervising firms until 2028. So right now it is being built. The deadline is fixed, but the watchdog has not bitten anyone. And the detail, the exact how, is still wet ink. AMLA is busy writing the technical standards that turn the law into day-to-day procedure. Things like how deep your customer due diligence has to go. When it held its first public hearing on those drafts in March 2026, more than 1,600 firms and advisors showed up. So banks are already preparing against rules that are not fully locked, which is exactly why this is worth understanding early. So why care if you are not a compliance officer? Because getting this wrong is brutally expensive. The Dutch bank ING paid €775 million back in 2018 for weak money laundering controls. Under AMLA, the bar gets higher and more uniform. So banks and asset managers are rebuilding their Know Your Customer checks, their monitoring, and their ownership records right now. And here's the banking and AI angle. Almost all of this is pattern spotting across enormous piles of data, which is exactly the work machine learning is being pointed at. So if you remember one thing, make it this. Every part of AMLA traces back to a single idea. Close the gaps between 27 national systems so dirty money has nowhere left to slip through. Ask of any new rule, does this remove a weak link? And the whole thing snaps into focus. I turn the timeline and who AMLA actually supervises into a one-page map, and it is free in the newsletter. If this finally made AMLA click for you, subscribe, and I will keep turning the rulebook for AI in banking into something you can actually use, one topic at a time. Stay sharp.